Have you ever held a secret so deep inside you that it ate at you daily, but you never wanted to tell anybody about it because you didn't know how people would react? And that happened to me. I got with my husband in '89, and right after I graduated from high school, we got together. In March of '90, we moved to Michigan for a year, and then we moved back to Louisiana and ended up starting a family. We had Josh, and 7 years later we had Allison. And it wasn't until 2009 I had been diagnosed for about 10 years with Crohn's disease. Well, I was having symptoms in my body that was relevant to cancer. And I know in the Bible it says, as a man speaketh, so is he. So I knew not to speak that on myself. I just turned my laptop around and I told my husband, showed him the symptoms, and he said, this is what we're going to do. He said, we're going to shut the cable off, and he said, we're going to get into the Word of God, and we're going to believe the scriptures over your life. And I knew that this secret that I had held inside me could prevent me from getting my miracle. And this secret has been eating at me for years and years and years. And I finally had to tell my husband that I was being molested again as a teenager. First by that family friend, and then by another family member that lived in and out of our house the whole time I was growing up. He come in and out of our house from the time I was 13 till the time I was 18 years old, and he's still out there. And I struggle every day with wondering if he's messed with other kids or if he's messed with anybody else. I don't know how to deal with that situation. I'm praying about it right now, but I had to tell my husband this, and I felt so guilty all of them years keeping that from him, and when I finally told him, it was like another release off me, so harboring secrets inside you, if you're in a relationship, you need to expose them, secrets, to your husband, or your wife. You need to put everything out on the table, because those secrets, that kind of thing, will eat you alive. There's so many different situations I was in growing up. I remember one time when I was like 11, 12 years old, my mom lived down a dead-end street, and I was outside playing, and these 3 African-American men come and grabbed me and pulled me toward this fence, and it had a hole in the fence, and they were taking me back there to rape me, and I was actually screaming to the top of my lungs. And my mom's boyfriend at the time, she was working, and he come running outside, and he had picked up a big old club or something, and he started beating them with that club. And he told me to run, so I ran, and I went into my mom's house, and I hid in the bathtub, because I was young then. I was probably about 10 or 11 then. And they beat him so bad that they broke his arms and I think they broke his leg, I'm not sure, but he was actually, they whipped him really good, but he saved my life. And I will always be forever grateful for him. And he actually passed away last year of cancer, but I held that secret inside me until I was ready to tell my husband about it, and there's so much things that happen as a child. It happens to you as a child, it happened to me as a child, and we think that burying that stuff is helping us, but it's actually very damaging to you. It's hard to talk about things that's happened to you, and stuff, because you think that you'll be judged, and you think that people look at you differently and stuff. You know, I'm hoping now that I have showed you my life now. It's made a complete circle turn around in the last 10 years than the way I was. So I hope nobody ever judges me for the things that I've done in my past, because the things I've done in my future has outweighed the things I've done in my past. You know, and I'm not that person no more. And I'm not who I want to be, but thank God I'm not who I was, you know, because you wouldn't have liked her very well. You know, because I held, because of everything that's happened to me, I held so much bitterness and so much hate and so much anger and so much venomous poison inside me. I've always wanted to seek revenge on somebody. I wanted somebody to pay for what they done to me. You know, I wanted to lash out pain and hurt to other people because pain and hurt was done to me. You know, I wanted to call people names and make fun of people because that was done to me. You know, I wanted to tell somebody they were worthless and they were no good, they wouldn't amount to anything, because those things were said to me, you know. And I don't hold anything against the people that's talked to me that way, you know, because I know that that's probably what was said to them, you know. And sometimes you just got to forgive somebody, you know, forgive the people that's hurt you in order for you to move on. But harboring secrets from especially your spouse is very damaging to your marriage. You know, there's things that's been done to you that you need to talk to somebody about. You know, you need maybe counseling or therapy or something, because those things that was done to you are preventing you from doing something in your life that you need to be doing, you know. I don't know, a lot of us young girls have went through molestations, rapes, we've had abortions, I have never had an abortion, you know, but I do have friends that went through and had abortions, and that wasn't because of their decisions. It's because their parents was too embarrassed to be known as, you know, a parent that their child got pregnant too early, you know. And so their parents take them to the clinic and they had abortions. I had one particular friend that we were in high school together, and she had 4 abortions while we was in high school. And I laid with her in the bed when she come to spend the night at our house, and we laid there and we talked, and she described, you know, these moments of why, and I held her while she cried. She just cried and cried and cried because she never ever wanted to go through that. But her self-esteem was so low that she thought that she needed to be with any kind of man that showed her attention. Well, these were boys, you know. And if that boy told her she was beautiful, or if he told her that he loved her and she was the only one, you know, and nobody could ever replace her, whatever, she would sleep with him, you know. And back in the 80s, you know, we didn't think about protection back then, you know. We didn't think about birth control, or we were too scared to go to our parents for any kind of advice on having sex, you know. My stepmom used to tell me, you know, like, Chrissy, if you start having sex, you better come tell me. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm going to come tell you I'm fixing to have sex tonight? Are you kidding me? You know, no way. I would never, ever confide in her about things like that, you know. And you have to have a better, open relationship with your parents, you know. And don't lie to them, from your kids, from the beginning, you know. Like, if they ask you any kind of questions, you know, between the ages of 11 and 13, you need to start talking to your kids about sex, you know, because their hormones are raging by the time they're 13 years old. They're ready to, you know, their hormones are going nuts at 13 years old. Trust me, you know. And just talk to them about, you know, don't believe what these guys or these girls say to you, you know, when they want to sleep with you or whatever. You know, my dad, he was always following me around town. You know, if I went out with somebody, he was 2 car lengths behind. He knew where everything was, all the teenage hangouts, because he would show up, you know, and he made sure that he kept an eye on me, you know. And but one mistake my dad made with me, he always made sure that he met the parents of the people that I went to spend the night with, my friends' parents. He would never ever let me go spend the night without meeting their parents. But what my dad didn't think about was that perverted brother, or that perverted neighbor that stopped by, or that perverted friend that stopped by. He forgot to meet them people. You know, so when your kids go spend the night with somebody, just keep an eye and an ear out and think about the people that just stop by, because they're perverted too, you know. And we protected our kids. Some people say that we overprotected our kids, you know, but if they only knew the things that I went through as a kid or teenager, I would never ever want my children to go through that, ever. Anything that I've went through. I was psychologically damaged. I was messed up in the head. My head was so screwed up, you know, and I brought a screwed up head and a screwed up mentality into my marriage, you know. And it wasn't only until 2005 that I started renewing my mind. I started, like, I said this in another video, I started hating who I was. I was so messed up in my head, you know. I didn't like her, you know. I didn't like that person, and I had to fall back in love with myself, you know. But I had to change the way I think, you know, because I was going down a life path of destruction, thinking the way I was thinking. So the first step into becoming a new person is forgiveness. Telling your secrets to your spouse, you know, they'll understand. They're not going to judge you, you know. Be an open book to them. Just don't you know, jeopardize your relationship with them by keeping these secrets, because the longer that you keep them, the more that they might not trust you. My husband understood, because he knew my childhood. He knew a lot of things that I went through, so he completely understood. I'm not sure if he would have understood if he wasn't a man of God, but he did understand, you know. And I'm so glad I was able to talk to him and get that off my chest, you know, because that was something that was like eating at me for years and years and years, you know. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all have a good day, and I love y'all. Bye.